Okay friends, let's come back to my YouTube channel, that is JK Educare. And friends, I have given this WhatsApp number. This is my WhatsApp number. You can contact me at this number if you have any kind of query, or if you have any questions. You can send me the question to this WhatsApp number 863-864-0156. Okay friends, so far we have been discussing present indefinite tense, isn't it? In the last classes, I gave you the reasons or the uses of present indefinite tense. Actually, when we talk about any kind of tense, whatever the tense may be, we should know two things, two questions. In the previous class, I had mentioned the two questions. What are the two questions? Let me write the number. What are the two questions? The questions were when and how. When and how. These are the two questions that we should ask ourselves when we talk about any kind of tense. For example, in so far as present indefinite tense is concerned, which we have been dealing with these days, present indefinite tense, we should ask ourselves when present indefinite tense is used. That is the first question, when. It is a very important question. We should know when we should use present indefinite tense. And we have already, up to the last classes, we have mentioned 12 uses of present indefinite tense, apart from the traditionally done two uses, that is universal truth and habitual action. More than these two uses, we discussed 12 uses of present indefinite tense, and these things that we have discussed so far all are related to this question. We deal with this question, that is when. And now come back to the second question, that is how. How present indefinite tense or any kind of tense is used. This how means, how, when we ask this question how, it means how a particular tense is to be used or is to be written. That is called how, means the form, F-O-R-M, form, or structure, S-T-R-U-C-T-U-R-E. We are actually dealing with, we are going to deal with this part. This part means how. The question how denotes this form and structure. Every tense has its own structure. Every tense has its own form. That is why we are going to deal with the form or structure. Okay friends? Now, up till now we have already known so many things about present indefinite tense, when present indefinite tense is used, and now come to the form. Form or the structure, form of present indefinite tense. We are actually talking about, what we are talking about these days, we are talking about present indefinite tense. Okay, is it clear to you? Present indefinite tense, we are talking about present indefinite tense, and now we are asking how or form of present indefinite tense. What is the form of present indefinite tense? That is the structure. Subject, the structure is very simple. Subject plus main verb plus others. Okay, we see that with the main verb there is nothing added after the main verb, there is nothing added before the main verb. That is why before and after we see that there is nothing added before the main verb and nothing added after the main verb. That is why main verb is used as it is. It is the first form. In the previous class we talked about the three forms of verbs. first form, second form, third form. I think you all remember this. Now, with present indefinite tense, this subject plus main verb plus others, that is the first form, is used. And since only the first form of the verb is used, that is why it is called very simple to write and to talk. That is why it is called also simple present tense. We can see it, we can call it simple present tense or present indefinite tense or simple present tense because it is very simple. That is why it is called simple present tense. This is the structure of present indefinite tense. Very simple. As like as that. Subject plus main verb plus others. Okay. Now you see present. I am writing this part also. Now I would like to request the viewers who have come for the first time, please subscribe the channel, that is JK Educare, so that you can get the videos, you can get the classes regularly and serially. It will be very helpful. And viewers, I would like to request you, please press the button like if you like the video. Okay, these likes and subscribe will help our channel to grow. This is your channel. Okay, now what we are talking about, the form or structure. The form assertive sentence. Assertive sentence, we have already given subject plus main verb plus other. We have already given. This is the structure of assertive sentence, subject plus main verb plus other. Very simple. And if we want to change into an interrogative sentence, then it is also very simple. We see that there is no auxiliary verb after the subject. Since there is no auxiliary verb, just remember the helping verbs that I talked about in the earlier class when we were in the semi-final match in the Indian Volleyball League. We talked about some players that played in the semi-final. The helping verbs or players were am, is, are, do, does, have, and has. These are the helping verbs we use in present tense. And now among these two helping verbs, do and does, these two helping verbs are used as helping verbs in present indefinite tense. Only these two, do and does, these two auxiliary helping verbs are used to before the subject when we are going to write an interrogative sentence. With the help of do verb, we can change the assertive sentence into an interrogative sentence. For example, do or does. This is the structure of interrogative. Then comes the subject, second question. Subject, then comes the main verb. It will remain same plus other. There is a question mark because it's an interrogative sentence. When we write an interrogative sentence, please don't forget to put the question mark. Without putting the question mark, if we don't use this question mark, the sentence will not be correct because we are writing an interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence is used to ask a question. When we are going to ask a question, we should use that question mark. Okay, this is the interrogative sentence, structure of form of interrogative sentence. If we want to make it negative, that is also very simple. Negative sentence, it is also very simple. Just after the verb, use do or does not. Do not or does not plus, it will remain the same, main verb plus other. Okay, this is the interrogative sentence. So far, we have learned the structure. This is the important thing that we are talking about. This is the form or structure. We can call it structure. Form is the structure. Okay, form is the structure. Structure of assertive sentence, subject plus main verb plus other. Interrogative sentence, do or does plus subject plus main verb plus other plus question mark. And negative sentence, subject plus do not or does not plus main verb plus other. Very simple. And this is why this present indefinite tense is called simple present tense. Okay friends, I think there is no puzzle till now. We have learned all the things about present indefinite tense. Now last part, one thing we should know, that every sentence has a relationship between subject and verb. Every sentence, when we write a sentence or when we talk a sentence, we use the subject, verb and other words. And what is the subject-verb relationship? When we call a subject-verb relationship, subject, verb or subject action, subject verb relation. Okay, relation. Subject verb relation. This subject verb relation, this is called conjugation. This is we call conjugation. We conjugate how to use the subject and verb. Now in this now we should use one table. I am writing one table. We know that every subject has two numbers. One is singular number. If subject may be singular or the subject may be plural. Subject may be singular or plural, and every subject, the doer of the action, there are generally three persons. This is called person. There are three persons: first person, second person, and third person. Okay, these are the three persons, singular and plural. With the first person means belong to me. Suppose the subject is I. First person singular, when the subject will be singular, it will be I. First person singular, plural we. Second person singular you, plural you. Third person singular he, she, it. Any one of these are the three subjects of third person singular number. Okay, if we then plural will be they. Okay, we know all these things, but even then I just remembering, I just want to remind you these things. This is called the conjugation of present indefinite tense. And suppose if we take one verb, for example, eat. I eat, we eat. Very simple, the first form is used, as we have already come to know that the first form of the verb is used. There is nothing to be added before, nothing to be added earlier or after. That is why the very first form of the verb is used with present indefinite tense. That is why it is eat. You eat, very simple. You eat, plural, very simple. They eat, okay. But one thing is to be noted here, that with the subject, with the third person singular number, this one, he, she or it, with this subject we use or we add s or es. Okay, what and how we should use, I am going to talk about. Now these are the things we should remember. This is the conjugation. First person, second person, third person, singular and plural. I, we, you, he, she, it, they. The verb will remain the same. So I eat, we eat, you eat, you eat, he, she eats, they eat. Okay, that is enough. And this is the relation of subject and verb. I think the students have written down. Okay, I am always asking you to write down what I have written on the board, because if you write down, then it will be very much helpful for you to remember. Okay, now one thing, interesting thing, when the important topic that we have got so far, that if the subject is third person singular number, we add s or es with the main verb. And for example, play. Plays. If the subject is third person singular number, it will become plays. As we have done eat, eats. For example, drink, it will become drinks. In this way, go, it will become goes. Do, third person singular number, verb will become does. We use yes, yes, s. Okay. Then there is a difference. We have noticed here that there is a little difference. Sometimes we use s, but with this word, two words, go and do, we use yes. That is why this point is to be noted. It is important point that s or es is used with the verbs if the subject is third person singular number. Now I am giving you some words which will be helpful, some helpful hints I will give you, which will help you to remember which are the words that generally takes s or es. The s we have already come to know that the verb, any verb ends with t. For example, tea, drink, T-R-I-N-K, drink, etc. The word ends with consonant, it becomes s only. We add s. Okay, we have seen so many examples right now, and now come to you. Please write down some verbs ending with these sounds, double s. Sh, important. Just remember, sh, ch, x, o. How many? We have got 5. Double s. The verb, if the verb is ended with double s, sh, ch, x, o. If the verb is ended with these sounds or this alphabet, then remember we use or we add not s, but we use or add what we use. Ed, es. For example, kiss, kiss, it will become kiss. For example, was, wash, it will become washs. For example, watch, watch, it will become watches. For example, box, it will become boxes. Box means not the thing that we call box. It is used as verb to give a punch, that is box. And the other o, for example, go or do, it will become what? Goes or does. Okay. With this, have you noticed what are the differences we have seen so far? We have seen here yes is used, here yes is used, yes. When we use or add, when we add these yes, if the verb is ended with double s like this, sh like this, ch like this, x like this, o like this. Okay? Clear? Okay. Now another one important point we should remember. Is that if the verb ends with y, the letter y. If the verb is ended with the letter y, then okay, for example, say. We frequently use this word say, pay. In this way, obey, for example, O-B-E-Y, obey. Here we see the verb is ended with the letter Y. Okay? And it is preceded by, or it is preceded by a vowel. This one is the vowel. A is one vowel, A, E. These are three vowels, and Y is preceded by a vowel, then it will become just S. S-A-Y, S. We use S. P-A-Y, S. Page. O-B-E-Y-S. Obeyes. Okay? There is only S is used. But we have added S, S, S. When we use we are talking about this Y. If the verb is ended with the letter Y, then if it is preceded by a vowel, then it will become S. Only S is to be added. When these things will happen, only if the subject is third person singular number. And now if the Y is preceded by a consonant, C-O-N-S-O-N-A-N-T. Okay. If Y is preceded by a consonant. In the earlier case we saw that Y was preceded by a vowel. Now if Y is preceded by a consonant, then what will happen? For example, C-A-R-R-Y, carry. Okay. C-O-P-Y, copy. Okay. T-R-Y. Okay, these are sufficient. Okay. Here we see that this Y, the letter Y is preceded by a consonant, P-R-R, consonant, not vowel. And if it is Y is preceded by a consonant, not vowel, then we add what? We will add I-E-S. This thing is to be remembered, I-S. Then it will become C-A-R-R-I-E-S, carries. C-O-P-I-E-S, copies. T-R-I-E-S, tries, etc. What we have added? I-S, I-S, I-S. Okay? These are the things we should remember. Why? The verb ended with Y, it will become I-E-S. Carry, carries. Copy, copies. Try, tries. When Y will be preceded by a consonant and the verb is used in present indefinite tense, third person singular number. Okay, friends, and with these things, we have completed the present indefinite tense. I think we have no puzzle with the present indefinite tense. We have learned so many things. The most important things that we should learn as a student of present indefinite tense, I think you have got all